Good day everyone! We're here to show you the result of our Skinner's Box experiment for experimental psychology. In this part of video, minutes before the experiment, the subject still sniffs its container and relaxes back to its place. The one on the right, the one used in the experiment, is more active than the other. The subject familiarized with a new place that had been placed and seemed to look for places it can rest on. He sniffs the food container, seemingly to know that there is a food in it. It cleans itself whilst discovering the box. He unknowingly pulled the lever even though it had been not electrocuted. It tries to climb the food container and lever but goes back down again. After being electrocuted, it goes immediately in the lever as it knows that it's the safest place that it can be, and it already tries to climb in it earlier. It stays in its safe place and seems to be more alert than before. It was forced to go back to the floor and it's more cautious now. Second time it had been electrocuted, it jumped back to the food container, specifically in the place where the food shoots out. But we can see that it's not interested in the food at all, nor show any interest in the food pellet to the ground. We can assume that it's because the subject is not hungry before the experiment. Now that it gets back down again, it just goes to the corners where there are electric tape that might have less electric voltage than the panels. On the third and fourth time, it immediately goes to the lever but it still shows no interest in the food pellet. It just rests in the corner and seems to be tired. But on the fourth time, it goes back to the floor on its own and not forced and this time. It rests around the lever, near to its safe place. After a few minutes of rest, it moves again and seems to be looking around again and rests back to the corner. The last time, it's not electrocuted but we move the container into a slant motion and it immediately goes back to the lever and food container as it may feel the slanting of the container may have triggered its fear. This time, it's looking for a place to escape and uses the spaces in the lever and the top of the container. We can see that the subject is shaking because of the fear and the shock that it receives from earlier. We can make a conclusion that the subject is not hungry and it resulted to not showing any interest in the food pellet but still looks for the place that it feels safe and where it knows that there is no electric shock. The container also moves whenever it's electrocuted. And it can be the reason why the subject goes in the lever and food container when we move the container into a slant motion. Before the start of the experiment, the first subject, which is not included in the video, might have left a scent that gives the second subject to know where it can go, but the second subject still look around the container to know its place, and that's why it immediately know where to go.